Okay guys, back to talk about depths. This is Smith Island or Eastern Straits. You probably saw it on my other video. Anyway, what I do on this one is every 2 inches, I just lay a ruler down. And I go down here to the bottom, and every 2 inches I draw a hatchling, right? I always start from 0 on one corner, and then when I move the ruler over, I do the same corner because some rulers are different and you get that screwed up really easy. As far as churning, I use the same corner and the same end each time. That's kind of an important thing. Use the same corner. Use one corner and come off of it. Or bring it over to the other side and use the same one. Anyway, so every 2 inches hatchling, every 2 inches along the bottom hatchling, until you grid it out like this. Once you get it gridded out like this is on a practice chart. Once you grid it out like this, you're going to take the whole thing over to your light table, which has got your chart on it. You lay it down on top of your chart. Line everything up on your chart. And then what I do as far as depths is I just look through it. I look straight through it with the light table and I find out, let's see, this is 85 here. And I try and get numbers that I think are close to each other. Because if you remember in 104 and then you remember in 27 here, you know, in the big scheme of things, you're going to be all over the board. So I try, if this is in the 90s in this corner, then I try and stay in the 90s, 95. Like here's a, let's see, here's a 98, and over here I could do an 89. So I remember 90. 98, 89 as my first one, and then, you know what I mean? So you, if it's in the 100s, I try to stay in the 100s instead of going from 103 to 83. But you can do whatever you want there. I just like to stay, you know, in the 90s if I can, or find some sort of a method that I know I'll remember. And then what I do is I just go straight across to each one and pick a number. Right? And then once I do that, I'll grab my piece of paper here. Once I do that, then I will take my pen and I'll say 97, 95, 92, 89, 49, 59, 68. Let's say we come to a spot where there's nothing, like if there was a landmass. If there was a landmass right here, then what I do is I just put a cross, a hatch, right? And then I move on and I do 59. And then on my next line, so let me get back in there, 97. You know, I just go straight across, and then if there's a landmass there, then I put a hatch, 59. And then I come down and I do it again. If there's a landmass here, I would put a hatch, 82, 42, 59, 60. There's a landmass here, hatch, and so on. I just keep going down the list. And then as I remember the numbers, then I'll remember where the hatchlings are. The more you do it, you know, I usually start with one line at a time. You know, I remember 97, 95, 92, 89, 49, 59, 68, nothing, 59. And I won't move on until I know that line. And I know there's a hatch there. So by the time you're done though, you're gonna have this whole page filled up with depths. with hatchlings and all kinds of stuff in there. But basically I start from one corner, I go all the way across, and then I go to the next one, and I go all the way across. And then I go to the next one, I go all the way across. And see, here's some marks. Now, when it comes to something like this in this corner, he's going to want you to put a depth in there, right? So conveniently, these go all the way down until you get to about here. And this is where you're going to have a hatch. You're going to have a hatch here. You're going to have a hatch. Here you got to put in a depth. Here you got to put in a depth. Here you got to put in a depth. So that's basically what I do, is I grid it out like this, and then when I get in there,